Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports with Chris Gervino.
Hello, everybody. A big change on the Missouri football coaching staff. Mizzou offensive coordinator and assistant head coach David Yost has resigned. Yost arrived 12 years ago with head coach Gary Pinkel and had been with Pinkel for 17 years, dating back to their time at Toledo. David Yost started at Mizzou as quarterbacks coach and recruiting coordinator. He moved up to offensive coordinator before the 2009 season and then earned the title of assistant head coach before the 2011 campaign. Yost coached 3 quarterbacks at Missouri who are now in the NFL. Blaine Gabbert with Jacksonville, Chase Daniel with New Orleans, and Brad Smith now playing wide receiver for Buffalo. This season, Missouri averaged 26 points and 356 yards per game, ranking 11th in the SEC in both categories. Pinkel says he will conduct a national search for Yost's replacement, but also consider internal candidates. A candidate could be Tennessee offensive coordinator Jim Chaney if he is not retained by the new head coach of the Volunteers. Chaney is the interim Vols head coach after the firing of Derek Dooley. While the Vols had a 5-7 mark this season, they averaged 36 points and 476 yards per game, ranking among the top 4 in the SEC in both categories. Chaney is a native of Holden, Missouri, and a Central Missouri graduate. He interviewed for the Tiger head coaching job in 2000 before Mizzou hired Pinkel. Chaney is a former offensive coordinator at Purdue and former offensive line coach with the St. Louis Rams. Missouri defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson has earned first-team All-SEC honors from the Associated Press. Richardson tied for second on the team with 75 tackles. He made 4 sacks, forced 3 fumbles, recovered 2 fumbles, and blocked 1 kick. Last week, Mizzou announced Richardson, a junior, would leave the Tigers early to enter the April NFL draft. He is projected as a first-round pick. No other Tiger earned All-SEC first or second-team honors or even received honorable mention. The Missouri men's basketball team has moved up 4 spots in this week's AP poll to number 12. It's the highest rating of the season so far for the Tigers. Here's the new poll. Indiana still number 1, Duke number 2. Louisville ranked 5th, handed Mizzou its only loss this season. Florida is unbeaten and ranked 6th. The Gators the only other SEC team besides Missouri among the top 25. The Tigers check in at number 12, and then it's Illinois right after Mizzou at 13th. Of course, the Illini unbeaten. They moved up 9 spots and will play Mizzou in a little more than 2 weeks in St. Louis. North Carolina rounds out the top 20, and North Carolina State rounds out the top 25. The Tiger men, 6-1, return to the court tomorrow night to play Southeast Missouri State. The Redhawks feature a familiar face. Former Tiger Tyler Stone averages 16 points and 9 rebounds per game. He scored 18 against Mizzou last season. Stone played 1 year at Mizzou as a freshman under Mike Anderson.
He's a talented kid. I mean, he's got great skills in terms of he can shoot a little bit, he drives it. But the biggest thing is he plays with a assertiveness on the offensive end. Playing the team tomorrow, I think, watching him on tape, is pretty talented, and probably the most talented team we've played in this building this year.
The Mizzou women tonight against Tennessee Martin, and the first half, here comes Leanna Doty to Bree Coulis for the layup and a foul. Coulis had 20 points and 14 rebounds. Later in the first half, Morgan I makes the 3-pointer, and she was just getting started. Tigers by 3, 40-37 at halftime. Second half, I for 3 more. She came in shooting a team-leading 43% from beyond the arc. Later, I would hit another 3. She set the school record with 8 3-pointers tonight. 26 points for the game, and Mizzou wins 82-71.
News travels fast in a small town. My aunt had already been texting my mom, so I actually did know that.
If I'm looking at a stat sheet, I think Morgan's going to want to come play us about every other game.
My teammates just kept encouraging me to keep shooting the ball, so I said, okay, sounds good. And, I mean, they just kept feeding me and driving it, and I had some really good looks. My teammates got me open.
And Morgan I from that small town of Montrose, Missouri. That is sports.